call the meeting to order at 3:28. And I need a motion to accept the agenda as shown.
I can
Jen?
move it.
Okay, and Deputy Mayor Summers. All right. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest?
No.
Seeing a lot of shaking heads to the no. We can move forward to the administration reports, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Dent, our treasurer, for the insurance renewal.
Thank you, Mayor Hagman. Just opening it up here. So 2 seconds. You started ahead of schedule.
I did.
I wasn't quite ready for it. The first report is the general insurance renewal. Initial conversations with BrokerLink had indicated that we were looking at a 15% increase for this renewal period. It was a little surprising considering some of the rates that we were seeing were anywhere from 15 to 30 or 40% increases, but we were hopeful that they told us 15. We're hopeful that's where it would come in. It did not. It's come in closer to 25% increase over our previous year rates. We did budget for the 15% increase. We do have money in our insurance reserve. So the recommendation is that we accept this renewal, transfer the required funds from the insurance reserve. We will have to find some additional savings to cover the rest of the increase, but the recommendation also includes that we go to RFP, excuse me, for the next insurance year. So that would be starting in 2022. So later this year, we would go to RFP for our insurance for the next 3 to 5 years.
Are there any questions for Sue on this rate increase? Councillor Posterero, and followed by Councillor J. Dunbar, followed by Councillor B. Dunbar.
I'm just wondering what the justification is for raising it that high. Did we use it that much to merit such a substantial raise?
Through you, Mayor Hagman. So there's a number of things. We're just seeing general increases across the board. Everybody's getting it no matter what. A lot of it comes down to the issues around joint and several liability. But yes, we did also have a number of claims that are contributing to the increase. So it's twofold. It's just a general increase, but we also have had claims that are factored into this.
And Councillor J. Dunbar.
Yeah, Sue, thank you, Mayor Hagman. This is for, this renewal is for 1 year only?
Yes, through Madam Mayor, yes, it is for 1 year. So it would be May, or actually past the renewal date was May 23rd to May 23rd, 2022. So we would be looking to go to RFP for the period starting May 23rd, 2022.
Okay, so yeah, the next time we go out looking for one, we put it out with the RFP, correct? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And Councillor B. Dunbar.
My question was exactly the same as Councillor Posterero's.
Okay. Are there any?
So it's been answered. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I have a motion that council accept the insurance renewal quote from BrokerLink in the amount of $273,316.28, and that staff be directed to issue an RFP for the general insurance and risk management service for the 2022-2023 insurance period, and that the shortfall be offset by the transfer from the insurance reserve. May I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Posterero and Councillor B. Dunbar. All in favor of this motion? And that's carried. I only see a half of me, so I can't tell if you can see my hand. There you go. And on to 4.2, again from our treasurer, with regards to cyber risk insurance, and I'll let you, Ms. Dent, take this one too.
So I know in the initial report, it said I didn't have the cyber risk insurance quote yet. And between the time I wrote that report and we scheduled this meeting, I got the cyber risk renewal quote. So this would be, again, additional funds we would need to find within the operating budget. as we already over on our budget for insurance. This is a new underwriter for our cyber risk this year. Our original underwriter refused to renew our cyber risk because one of the main reasons is because we do not use two-factor authentication. However, this new underwriter is recommended by BrokerLink, and the quote did come in at less than what we paid for our cyber risk insurance for the previous year. So we are recommending that we accept this quote for cyber risk insurance from CFC Underwriting. And as I said, we will have to find the additional funds within the operating budget to cover this cost.
Are there any questions for Ms. Den? Counselor J. Dunbar, Counselor Foster-Arrow. Counselor J. Dunbar first.
Thank you, Mayor Eggman. Sue, the cyber insurance, if I recall, I was at an ADMA meeting a while back when they were suggesting that we purchase this type of insurance. Now, I just want to know exactly what does this insurance actually give us? I mean, because if we were to be hacked and at the mercy of a ransomware, where does the insurance come in, considering, you know, this happened to Wawa and you usually wind up paying up the money. So is the insurance covering what we might have to pay?
Yeah, so attached to the report was the information on what all was included in the terms for the insurance. So it does include incident response costs, legal and regulatory costs, security and forensic costs, crisis communication costs, privacy breach management costs. Just going down the list here: theft of funds held in escrow, funds transfer fraud, theft of personal funds, extortion, corporate identity theft, telephone hacking. There's a whole list. There's an income and loss expense. Yeah, so all of those, all of our costs that we could incur are there. Now there's the usual $5,000 deductible, but all of the costs associated with any recovery that's required are covered by this policy.
So if we had to put out some Bitcoin per se money to the individual hackers, then we would be reimbursed, obviously, or covered for this amount, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And Counselor Foster-Arrow.
I guess my only question is that the other insurance agent turned us down because we don't have two-factor authentication. Should we have two-factor authentication? Are there other municipalities that do?
Through you, Madam Mayor, that is probably something that we will need to look at because more and more the underwriters are requiring it. This particular underwriter does not right now, but it probably will be coming. So it is probably something that we should be looking at going forward.
And Ms. Scott, would you like to add something?
Yes, through you, Madam Mayor. With the two-factor identification, actually, I've just gone through some training on this. So we are looking at implementing this. There's a process to this moving forward, but we've had some training on it, and we're going to continue to train on this. And we're also holding a lunch and learn for staff on cybersecurity as well. So we're trying to educate all of the staff on this so that they're fully aware of the traps that are set for us to fall into to hack our system. So we are working towards this to ensure that the audit that we had done for our cybersecurity, that we're meeting all of those checks and balances.
Counselor J. Dunbar.
Thank you, Mayor Hagman. Ms. Scott, can you just give me a small, I guess, answer for what exactly is this two-factor identification?
So some of that is to deal with our login process and procedures. So we would have higher security getting into our system than we do currently.
Okay.
And making sure as well, like we've done some audit, and Sue can add to that as well, but we have done some audit checks with our staff, and some had their password underneath their computer or not changing and updating it from password 1. Those are kinds of things that we want to make sure that we are following up on, and that we're changing and we're doing those checks and balances to keep our system safe, because it is quite easy to hack this system.
Are there any other questions? Deputy Mayor Summers?
So, because initially you had said because we don't have a certain, whatever you called it, Sue. So how do you prove that we have it? Is it a certain course you have to take or something? Like I think I'm not understanding it either.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So what two-factor authentication is basically when you go to sign into a system, normally you would just put in your password. So what this does is you would go put in your password, but then there's a secondary thing. So it would send a code to your email that you then also
Okay.
enter into the system in order to log into it.
Oh,
So it's an
Kind of like Service
internal,
Canada
yeah,
or
it's an
CRA or one of
internal,
those. If you're in,
to make it, it's not just a single step to log into a program, it's a duplicate step.
Okay.
Therefore the dual factor authentication. You have to have 2 things in order to get in, not just
Okay.
one.
okay.
Which through you, Madam Mayor, will be an additional budget request in 2022, because there's some IT and some system upgrades that we will have to do in order to implement this process.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions on this agenda item? Councillor Postrero?
So then we're just simply lucky that this underwriter is taking us this year. So the contract totally specifies that we don't have 2-factor authentication at this time, and he'll take us. Okay.
Through you, Madam Mayor, yes, the company does know that we do not have 2-factor authentication at this time. But like I said, it is coming. It's becoming more of a requirement and industry standard for all the underwriters. So I suspect that by the time we try to renew in 2022 for the next year, we won't be able to find it if we don't have 2-factor authentication.
Seeing no other hands going up, I will read the motion. Be it resolved that council accept the quote for cyber risk insurance from CFC Underwriting in the amount of $7,180 plus PSD. And can I have a mover, please?
Also move, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor J. Dunbar, and seconded by Councillor B. Dunbar. Thank you. All in favor of this motion? And that's carried. Thank you. And I have a motion, be it resolved that council adjourn the special meeting at 3:41 p.m. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? I've got a thumbs up from Councillor J. Postrero and Deputy Mayor Summers. All in favor of this motion? And carried. Thanks, everyone. Go out and enjoy this sunshine. It's a beautiful day.